Welcome back to another episode of Black as Black. Appreciate everybody watching these things. I see I got several subscribers out there, and I will keep building this thing up and having interesting guests like today's guest, Mike Herzing. How you doing, Mike?
Doing well. Thank you.
Good, good. Hey, we've had all kinds of problems getting this thing put together, but hopefully we get through this and not have any more glitches or technical difficulty and make it work. I wanted to ask you a question right off the bat, though. Did anybody coach you before you went on to do this thing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've been looking for that. I need
Well,
somebody to do
hey,
some
man,
coach.
I've not done one of these meetings before, and no, I've not received any coaching. I've received some advice, but not, we won't get into
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I've been lucky. I haven't had anybody coaching me either, but I have had some advice. All right. So let's get to the connections part. If I recall, it was 1978 or so. I was with my cousin Daryl Black in his silver Silverado pick 'em up truck, driving down Welshire, and he pulled in a driveway, and there was a couple of guys I didn't know. It was Mike Herzing and Greg Riley, and I think that was the first time that I ever met you.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. That was uh, that was the first real estate endeavor I ever got into, and I didn't know a whole lot about it, real estate at that point. I built a house with Frank Moore prior to that, but kind of started dabbling in real estate about 78, 79. Yeah.
Right, right. I remember later on being over there a few times, and seems like the most vivid thing in my memory was the double door refrigerator had a door on both sides and was glass. You could look right
Yeah.
through the whole thing. Made it easy to find stuff, didn't it?
Yeah. It made it put a couple of zeros on the end of the power bill. I know that.
Right.
Not real economical to run those things.
No. Didn't you do something in the basement? Didn't you guys remodel the basement and make a man cave or something out of it?
Yeah, we put a little mini bar down there and um, a living room, I guess, and seems like we removed. It had about a 6-foot boiler in it that was used to heat up all those greenhouses that out and back.
Right.
Had all those hot water Resner heaters, and they spun the dial too. You know,
Right.
of course, we got rid of all those, but
Right, right. Now,
so the house was sitting there with a 6-foot by 6-foot boiler to heat a 900 square foot house.
right. Now, was it after that that you moved out on Route 15 or 460, whatever it was at the time?
Yeah, actually, I ended up with that house, bought the other guys out, and eventually remodeled it, added on to it, and put a garage out and back, a few things, and sold that and moved out to 015. Yeah.
Right. And then from there, you're to 18th Street.
96, I believe.
In 96, you moved to 18th Street?
No. I moved to 15. 18th Street, I had that place. Yeah, right down the road from where you live.
Yeah.
Right?
That was, I think there was a house between us, basically. And I was on Casey and you was on the corner of 18th.
Yeah. My apologies. I was kind of bouncing back and forth, but yeah, I had a duplex there on 18th Street, right behind Casey Junior High, and I lived there in one of those apartments for a while, and that's where you and I's relationship really came to fruition, as far as getting to know each other, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. We spent a lot of time together back then. Either he was up at our house or I was down at your house, and I remember in your bedroom / living room, you had the bed there and had a chest over against the far wall and had a little bitty TV up there. And I used to say, man, you need to get you some binoculars and look at that TV from bed.
Yeah. There's a lot of peculiar things went on back then. I don't really
Yeah, people
fully
come in.
understand it, but
No, people come in your house and then smoke and they just flick their ashes in the floor.
well, I didn't know anything about that. But
Oh yeah, he did. It's
they
Art
get it behind
Bannister.
your back. I
It
don't
was
know.
Art Bannister, and he's sitting on that couch over there, drunk and flicking his ashes. And you
Oh
called
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you called him on it. He said, "Damn, are you flicking them ashes in my floor?" Oh no,
Yeah.
no, no.
People wouldn't keep. People wouldn't quit coming by, so I had to move.
Right, right. Exactly. Speaking of that, funny story, real quick. Rest in peace, Rick Carnes. You knew he died, I guess,
Yeah,
a
Rick.
couple of years back. Yeah. But anyway, we lived there on Casey for the longest time. Well, we had a party or two over there, and Rick came over, and so one night we were in bed, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and right there by the back door was a window into the basement. And he come up there and started kicking on that window and holler, "Let me in, let me in." And so I got up and went upstairs, and he came in. He's ready to play some more. And I said, "No," I said, "I'm done. I'm going back to bed." Well, a few months or years passed, and we moved. And Rick was living down here in Florida. We moved out of there, and I seen Rick up at the Double J bar one night. He was in town, and he said, "Damn," he said, "you about got me thrown in jail." I said, "What do you mean I about got you thrown in jail?" He says, "Well, you didn't tell me yeah, you didn't tell me you moved." He says, "I was over there beating on the window and the cops come rolling up." What a guy. Well, anyway, so quickly, you got into real estate and construction back in what, 78, you said, and bring me up to speed on that.
We did that. Ran real estate for built, remodeled till 2017. 38 years. It went from new construction, remodeling to spec homes and some commercial development, and just did anything we could come up with,
Right, tackle anything. Yeah. Let's see, I had a question I was going to ask you there, but then forgot what it was now. I know we built you some, I think it was a metal stair and platform that went around the back of one of them buildings on 9th Street there.
Oh, the Ninth Street Grill. Yeah.
Yeah. Put that dock or whatever it was back there on the back.
That was for what company was that you
I
were?
was still at Mount Vernon Steel then.
Yeah. Well, you did. You had a infinite access company that we bought the first, one of the first, at least, elevator systems that we put in Dr. Froling's building.
Yeah, one of the first modular elevators. I remember that day we set that thing. I forget now. It might have been Harold Shard brought the crane out there to set it. But anyway, he got a hold of it, and there was it was quite a stick out to where it had to drop in, and he had that thing up in the air and was booming out and got over there close to where it was going, and the back stabilizer started coming off the ground on the crane. And he ended up tying a chain from the back of his truck to that corner that was lifting off the ground, and got her in there anyway without tipping over into the building. I think at that time you just had the bar joists and stuff set for over the basement there.
Right. We left the room to slip that thing in there, but I don't think we gave you as much as you'd liked. But yeah, that was a scary day.
Yeah. And like I say, I don't know if that was the very first. We did one up in Paxton that it was about the same time, and it's been a lot of years. That would have been in '93, I think. And I can't remember which one we actually did first. But
well, if you remember, I told you maybe you ought to just keep that check and mount it on the wall instead of cashing it. And
right.
I don't think you did. I remember getting it through
you got a canceled one. That was the first one. I remember now how I know that was because of the machine we put in that elevator. It was a combination of hydraulics and cabling. And then the next one I built, that was all an ex-partner of mine's idea, that design. And the next one we built that went up to Paxton, we used the double jacks in the tower, hydraulic jacks that raised it up and down, and got rid of all that crazy pulleys and cables, and actually started making them like everybody else built elevators and using their equipment.
You improved upon the prototype then.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because I remember we had issues with that one. When those cabled ones are hung, the cables come down and tie onto the platform, and there's a set of springs under there that gives it a little suspension there. And Doc Froling called me one day and he goes, "You got to come over here." He says, "There's something wrong with your elevator." He says, we get a bunch of people in there, and he goes, it won't move. He goes, "It gets stuck." And I said, "Well," I said, "that don't," he goes, I said, "It works okay with one or two." And he goes, "Yeah, but you get 3 or 4 in there." And he goes, it won't work. So I went over there and I was thinking all the way, like, what could be causing this? Because them things got a million safety devices in them.
Limiter on the.
Well, what it was is the extra weight of the people compressed those springs enough that the sensor said that it wasn't in the right location. So it shuts down. So 1 or 2 people didn't do it. But whenever you get more than that in there, it would. So I told him, I said, "Well, I ain't got time to fix it right now, but I know what the problem is. But what I can tell you is if you get in there and it don't move, just jump up and down and it'll take off."
Right. Or take the stairs.
Yeah, or take the stairs. But no, that's what it was. And we got it resolved for him. But yeah, it was kind of a crazy one. Of course, got a lot of friends in common there coming from Mount Vernon, Illinois. We all know a lot of the same people. So that's kind of another connection. Anyway, yeah, there were some stories back in the day, the night or afternoon, I forget if it was night or afternoon, when Hutch come riding in the horse there through the front door of the Double J. That was a memorable moment.
Yeah, I just I wrote a piece about that here a few weeks ago. I think you might have seen that.
I did.
Yeah, I had to verify if that story was or if the event was staged or not. And from all my research, it was actual event that wasn't pre-planned or anything.
Impromptu.
And Johnny Bannister's still sticking to that story.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I was standing in that bar, and this horse comes in about 9 o'clock in the evening, and I've never seen a horse come into a bar.
A horse walks in the bar.
First thing I did is looked at my drink. I just make sure that Johnny didn't put something in it or whatever.
Right.
But and I mean, off the cuff, this guy is standing there, Johnny Bannister standing there. He looked, this horse comes in. He goes, "You know what?" He said, "I've always wanted to say this, but F you and the horse you rode in on."
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if he wasn't staged, he thought pretty quick on that.
Right. Right.
Funny enough.
Yeah. In Oak Shores. I don't know if you were out there the night that Steppenwolf was supposed to play. If you remember I think you got in. What's that?
I built the stage out there.
Yeah, right.
I was there.
Yeah, and you remember, I forget who it was now, but it worked for the power company, and they put those poles in on each side at the front of the stage and run a cable up and over, and then we put that big tarp on there.
Right.
Well, right before John Kay came on, we had one of those Southern Illinois cloud bursts, and that thing started sagging, and it was going to come down if it collected any more water. And so fortunately I found a long piece of wood, and somebody gave me a knife, and we duct taped it on the end there, and I reached up, and they'd covered everything with plastics when it started raining. But I reached up and hit that thing, and I didn't realize at the time that if you cut it one direction, it won't rip. But if you cut it the other way, that thing split wide open, and I don't know how many gallons of water come dumping down on us. And had to go over there, and John Kay was sitting in Ron's bedroom, and his manager and I rode over on the boat and had to go in there and tell him that he wasn't going to be able to go on because everything was soaking wet and it couldn't happen. And he goes, well, how much did it rain anyway? And I said, well, and I reached down and took my sneaker off and walked over to the bathtub there in Ron's room and poured water out of it. I said, a lot.
It seems like they went ahead and played though, didn't they?
No, they didn't play, but he did come back. He did a rain date like 2 weeks later, I think. And he played out there. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people used to come out there, thousands. I think one time we estimated about 3,000 people was up on the hill there, you know.
Yeah, that drew a lot of people from St. Louis area and thereabouts.
Yep. Well, speaking of music, I got a song queued up here that you penned a while back called Every Single Day. You want to introduce us to that?
Yeah, I wrote that. I think we recorded that in 2016, I believe, and song I wrote about my wife, and it could, as far as anybody else goes, it's about a higher power and what it means to you to keep that going in your life. It's working. It's a good thing to have.
Right. Well, why don't we listen to it? I truncated it a little bit, but I think I got the best part of it in there. And so let's take a listen to that.
Every single day I would try to find a reason to hold my head up, make it through the day, but in this world I never knew what it was I could count on. But when I found you, it eased my pain. Don't wanna go back to before, no, not ever again. I need you, single day. Every single day I would walk in pain to the ends of the earth and back again. I'd move along, sing a song, waiting for the day I might find you. But when I found you, it eased my pain. Don't wanna go back to before, no, not ever again. I need you, and I want you, I love you every single day.
Every single day. So yeah, that was a nice song. I did pick up on the lyrics and the meaning of the thing, and it's
well, you flattered me by playing that. I really appreciate it. It was pretty unexpected. Thanks for your comment.
Well, you're welcome. So I remember back, well, I think it was when you was on 18th Street there, you used to fiddle around with the guitar a little bit, and didn't really play much, but I do remember you playing a little bit. So when did you get serious about playing and start working up to getting out and doing gigs?
I've always played, here. I never gave it up, but I've started playing around age 12, inspired by a cousin of mine, and he gave me my first guitar was it kind of had you might compare it to a 2x4 neck. Action on the 12th at about half an inch.
Toughened your fingers up though, didn't it?
Oh yeah, you get some tough calluses going.
Right.
But I dabbled, for through the years, and I kind of got to playing a lot better in my probably 30s and 40s, and always thought someday I'd like to retire and do it a little bit more often, you might say. Never knew it'd come to playing out a whole lot, but writing songs was something that I've always done, and kind of felt like when I retired I would do something more serious with it, and it just kind of fell to this, I guess.
Right. Fell together. Well, this next part of the segment here is what I call this or that, and I've got a bunch of off the wall questions that it's this or that, and I'd like you to choose one and a brief explanation of why. You ready? First one, eggs or oats?
Eggs or oats?
Yeah.
Eggs.
Breakfast of champions?
Well, not so much anymore, but yeah, I do better with eggs than oats, and you can ask your favorite horse why.
You're right. What about this one? Let's move on to the next question then. Tub or shower?
Shower.
Yeah, I can't get out of the tub anymore.
Well, that's a good reason for sure. I just always like taking a shower.
Right.
I
don't get too political here.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't get too political here, but left or right?
Right.
Right. A little bit on the music side, John or George?
John.
John Lennon.
That's your favorite Beatle.
Yeah. Then the last one is Ernie Ball or Diodario?
The Diodario.
Yeah. Diodario. All right. Well, we know what kind of strings to buy you for Christmas now.
That's right. They last longer.
Right. Speaking of strings, got another song I want to play right here. This was, I think, one of your most recent ones, "We the People."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's put that thing on and listen to it and talk about it when we get back.
Country's gone to hell in a basket. Too many friends ending up in caskets. We better write our congressman, give him a piece of our minds. Tell him get rid of all this wokeism, get back down to folkism. We need to live by the golden rule. Stop putting up with all these schools. Don't try to leak on me and tell me it's raining. Don't pat my back and tell me it's all right. 'Cause lots of things got to change, Mr. President. All you congressmen and governors, or we the people will set it right. pat my back and tell me it's all right. Lots of things got to change, Mr. President. All you congressmen and governors, all we the people will set it right. Our country's gone through hell in a basket. Too many friends ending up in casket. We better write our congressmen. Hey, give me peace of our mind. Don't try to leak on me and tell me it's raining. Don't pat me on my back saying it's all right. 'Cause lots of things got to change, Mr. President. All you congressmen and governors, all we the people will get it right. Yeah, we'll get it right. Gonna get it right. Yeah, we'll get it right. Yeah, get it right. Gonna get it right. Gonna get it right.
All right, well, there you go. We the People. Good song, Mike. I give you props on that one. That was, I told you before, that was probably one of the best recordings that I had listened to that you put out. The sound quality and the mix and all that. It was a really good job.
Like to think we're getting better as we go. I hope everyone understands by listening to it, my intention of that song is not to point fingers at anybody, but just to basically say that we're all in this together, Dems and Republicans, left, right. We just need to all focus on not splitting ourselves apart and stay together, because we really need this in these hard times that we're having.
Well, that's the truth too. And this is best I could remember, this is the biggest mess our country's ever seen in my years that I was paying attention to it anyway. I mean, we're so close, man. We're so close to World War III right now, with coming at us from China and Russia, and now the Hamas and Iran, and it's a really scary time. And I only live 8 miles from MacDill Air Force Base, thinking that's probably a good target. So it makes me a little nervous being this close to installation like that.
Who's to say who's safe and at what part of the country that isn't unsafe?
Right.
Yeah.
So back to the music. So I know it seems like, anyway, from what I've seen online and on social media, Jeff Smalley, I go back to the high school days with Jeff. I used to work at Butch's over there on my lunch hour. And,
oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I worked over there. I think all 4 years I worked over there. Well, I think I quit there in my senior year. I decided I'd flipped enough burgers. But, he used to put them burgers down 80 at a time.
Wow.
He'd go through them.
And they'd eat them up.
Oh, yeah. They'd be lined up all the way out of the, little parking area, if you want to call it that, in front of Butch's, and all the way down to the corner area on the pink, where the Pink House was.
Would he work there with you?
Butch and, of course, Butch. But there was a little girl worked there, Robin. I can't remember her last name. Robin Braden, I think it was. And Bill Willis. Bill Willis worked there.
Yeah.
And well, the funny thing is kind of a tradition for the Black family. Ray Black worked with Butch when he was in high school. Kenny Black, my dad, worked for Butch. Danny Black worked for Butch. Darrell Black worked for Butch, and Rich Black worked for Butch. So long line of blacks working there.
right?
But,
It-
you know,
they
black
named
as
it-
black.
They took the wrong name.
You're right.
Should be called Blacks.
Blacks. Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So
what-
anyway,
what's
Jeff
up
Smalley,
about
a
Smalley?
little off topic there. Who's your bass player?
Bass player is Jeffrey Lewis, and he's from Salem, Illinois. He actually he tried out for a Traveling Salvation show about a year ago and got the job. So he plays with them. They only do about 8 gigs a year, but they're big time. They play places like the Wildie and Effingham Performance Center and Chicago,
Right.
A few places up there. But they I'm impressed to have him playing for them.
Right. And so Jeff's your full-time drummer, because it seemed like I've seen somebody else sitting back there.
Small, yeah. Jeff's our drummer, and we're doing 3-piece. So it's a lot easier to put 3 guys together than it is more. But
Right.
we got pretty big sound for 3 people.
Right. Three-piece. I see you've got the beard. Bass player needs to get a beard. And I know another band that was 3-piece. It was pretty hot.
Oh yeah, they maybe grow them longer.
Yeah, grow them real long.
I
Yeah,
might
boy.
bend down to get to Billy Gibbons size though.
Right. All right. So what do you got coming up? What can we look forward to? You got anything going on? Of course, it might be a little too early, but we'll be home pretty much the last week, I guess, of December.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I play a solo gig at Pheasant Hollow on the 31st on New Year's Eve. We're trying to talk to get the whole band down there, but they don't like drums inside.
Right.
I play November 5th at Pheasant Hollow, and then I play for your cousin Danny's Christmas party on December 9th.
Oh, cool.
So maybe you can come up early.
I think this year when we have our little get together, Kim wanted to move it to what's it called, El Rancherito or whatever, down on Broadway there. The other place was okay, and the food was good, but it kind of in a little rough part of the neck of the woods there. But that'll be fine. So looking forward to that, of course, getting home, seeing the grand boys and Kim, and she's got a new squeeze now that she's moving forward with her life. She's dating, Jay Gentles. He worked for me back in the past. He's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah. Well, it's good. As long as she's happy.
Yeah. She seems to be. They went up to Centralia. I can't remember the name of the place. The big castle up there on the lake. You ever been up there? I think like a Sandalwood or something like that.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And went up there for a Halloween party / contest, and her and Jay took first place up there. Won them $100.
Really? Yeah. Did they take the bus? I
don't know. I don't know what. I didn't get into that with her. She put pictures up. I seen the pictures, and I was talking to her, and she was telling me that she had a hard time getting Jay to dress up, but then once he got into it, she said he's pretty much into it. And so they took first place for couples or something like that, I think. Speaking of event places, you talk about Effingham. Have you ever been to anything? One of the last big structural jobs I did for leaving Mount Vernon was the Benton Civic Center. Have you ever been down there to that thing?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
I never seen it after it was finished. I was down there when we were.
Yeah. My granddaughter does her dance recitals there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we've been there a couple times.
It looked like I say, it wasn't finished when I was last there, but it looked like it was going to be a pretty nice place. I know the stage and all the equipment that up in the ceiling there. There's a lot of money up in that thing.
Very impressive. Yeah.
It needed something like that. I'm surprised that Mount Vernon didn't think of something like that first. I guess we got the Granada up and running now, so that's right. A nice event center.
having quite a few shows, doing a lot of tribute bands there.
Yeah, yeah. I see a lot of that stuff on the Facebook, watch a lot of it and everything. Okay, well, you plugged the band. Any random thoughts before we sign off here? I still got a little time left.
Well, I kind of going to ask you a question or two. Where are you located down there exactly?
I am in what used to be a little town south of Tampa called Apollo Beach. It's about, I don't know, maybe 12 miles from downtown Tampa. We're about 1.5 miles off of the Tampa Bay to the west of us. And, it's exploding. Give you an idea, within 3 miles of my house, there is 5 public supermarkets.
No.
And there's a new one going in just down the street. They're blowing these big 4-story apartment buildings up. Anywhere there's vacant land, man, they're banging these things up. They work out on Sundays. I don't know about, or not Sundays, Saturdays. I know for sure. Sundays I don't usually get out, so I don't know. But anyway, it's just amazing. And the highway construction is they're blowing it up. 75 is just a mile to the east of me, and the main road that crosses 75 is called Big Bend, and they're completely redoing that whole interchange, doing the a mile back, you get off on the ramp so that you're out of the rest of the traffic, and doing the whole thing, flyovers and all that. But that's not a plus living here. Traffic. It's we don't talk about miles down here. We talk about minutes. Yeah. Oh, it's just 47 minutes away.
I hate getting stalled in traffic.
Yeah,
my wife and I have always talked about, eventually, once we retired, to maybe get down south.
Right.
That's one of the areas that we like. We like that Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
I guess there's be plenty of venues to play down there.
Oh yeah, there's almost every around here anyway. I can't think of any of the from pizza places to there's a place called the Salty Shamrock. It's got a big outdoor venue. There's a couple of places along the Alphi River that's like bar grill type things right on the river. They always, everywhere you go, there's live music down here. Just part of being in the restaurant bar business. You got to have a place for a band. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for that. Other than that, we like it here. I've never lived in a neighborhood that's quite as jammed up as these are down here. I've got exactly 5 feet on each side of my house, and then the next 5 feet is the other guy's. So I got 10 foot between his exterior wall and my exterior wall. Sure saves on mowing. I don't have any backyard.
You have barely enough room to build a fence.
Yeah, well, right. I don't have any backyard to mow. It's all got pavers and concrete patio around the pool, and then shrubs around all of the 3 sides of the backyard. And the front yard, I got a little electric mower. It's a 20-inch cut, and it takes about 10 minutes to mow the whole yard.
Well, that's nice. Yeah,
right.
I for 3.5 hours yesterday.
Right. Well, that was question number 1. What was the second?
Are you renting or buying down there?
I'm renting.
Yeah,
renting. If you bought right now, you'd be so upside down. In a few years, everything is extremely overpriced right now. And if you was to buy, this place we live in lists, if you go online, it lists for over $400,000, and it's only about 1,600 square feet.
Yeah.
And but yeah, if you was to buy, and the bad thing is down here too is they're raising the insurance rates, and these people that move down here on fixed incomes and stuff can no longer afford, between the rent, insurance and the rent going up. They're having to move out, and I don't know where they're going to go, but you see it on the news all the time where people's on fixed income are basically getting run out of their homes because they don't can't pay the insurance and then the rent rate. If you're renting, a lot of them do down here. They got those parks where you put the double wides or triple wides on there, and you rent the land from them, but you own the house. Like when you leave, you're going to take it with you. But anyway, it's all skyrocketed because of the population increase bad down here. Well, Mike, telling me I'm about to run out of time here. It's been an interesting conversation, and I had a couple more people asking me today if you was ever going to come on. And
oh wow,
Terry Sledge said
I have 2 fans out there. Then
yeah, Terry Sledge commented and says I think he's just ducking you. But anyway, it'll take me a while in post editing to go through and clean this thing up a little bit and get my sponsor, my wife's jewelry. She's now a silversmith and makes a lot of turquoise rings and pendants and stuff like that. So I gotta get her in there. What's that?
I said those are nice.
Yeah, they're
some of her work. She does really, really nice work.
Right. I lost that one turquoise ring. I think I talked about that the other day with you. The one that had all the ducks and the fish and the snake and I remember us sitting over there on your house in 18th Street. You'd look at it and you'd see something I didn't see, and then I'd get to looking at it and find something I didn't know was there before. It's like 8 different things all wrapped in that, and a little chunk of turquoise. Anyway, it's been fun. I've tried to get this thing up on Facebook tonight, and everybody can get off my back about when we're going to do the Herzing interview.
No, I'm not sure why they want to see that so badly, but
well, you're becoming a celebrity around there, I guess.
Right.
All right, bud. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.